Hi guys, welcome back to Theme 1, Population and Settlement. This is 1.6, Urban Settlements. So let's have a look through it. We're going to split it up into two parts here. We're going to have understanding urban areas, the models, and the difference between greenfields and brownfield site. There's quite a lot in part 1. Then part 2 will go on to a few more case studies. So the urban area then, many cities are different, but we can see a couple of similar characteristics in each one. So the urban areas, let's talk about the functions. First one is to open up a Burgess model there, and we can see that we start in A in the central area. This is the CBD or Central Business District. B will be known as the inner cities. So here we might see things like factory, light industry, and housing for the workers around it, like more affordable housing. Around that, we might find more low class residential, more for employees, and then finally larger homes as you move away from the industrial center. Now, this is kind of the typical city, but as it was being developed, right? We don't see all these characteristics. Now, if we were going back like 50, 100, 200 years ago, we would have seen a lot of characteristics like these, but things have changed since. We should expect to find things like a historical center. So things like castles, cathedrals, mosques, political centers, right? So they're going to be generally in the heart of the city. And we will see things like old streets and older architecture and things that were maybe not designed for modern day technology and, say, transportation, for example. So we have this as a main market point as well. So we can still see evidence of that there, historical evidence of that, and an economic hub. So most economic services are going to be offered there. And yeah, we would find that businesses here have a large sphere of influence. Think about what it is now. We can see that oftentimes the architecture can be mixed with more modern architecture now. And we see that like many areas have been renovated, updated, there's also high rise, things like skyscrapers, certainly in more modern cities where we look at maybe they didn't have such a historical significance there. It's quite normal to see a lot of pedestrian areas, just like here, over here on the right. So lots of people walking down the main street here, and there's lots of shops there. So retail is becoming a key focus point in this area, coffee shops, restaurants, and then just general shops. So we see main businesses changing then during this time. Parks, open green spaces protected, and often they're done at quite a high standard and they're quite safe places as well. They encourage lots of people to use it. And we see that the manufacturing industry, those any kind of industries that are a little bit heavy would have been taken out of there. And we also see that offices now might not particularly want to be based in the CBD. Transportation links, usually everything starts to go towards the center. So in the CBD, you're also going to find other elements such as see train stations probably still run into the CBD. We would have lots of bus links coming in and crossing over, even metro lines. If you look at a big city with many metro lines, you'll probably find that most of them are going to join up in the central part there. Now, if you didn't have a very historical CBD full of things like castles and old cathedrals or mosques or whatnot, you might find a more organized grid pattern. So things like modern cities in the USA, for example, just have that grid pattern where it's just like grid after grid, very organized streets there. Hey, as always, if that was useful, like, subscribe, and I'll be able to post more videos then. But also, if you want the rest of the content, follow the links below and you should find what you're looking for. All right, good luck, guys.